So it's day 58. Account sitting at 1519, and it's a Saturday at the time of this recording. And markets are typically closed. However, we still copy and paste trade and see profits. So that's a beautiful thing when you can actually have something that's growing 7 days of the week. From a trading standpoint, that's what crypto brought into the world, and copy trading just simplified things. Now, if you're not familiar with BG Web Sharing, BG Web Sharing is a copy trade network community platform that allows people to copy and paste trade signals and then earn profits on a day-to-day basis based on if the trade wins or loses. And if they lose, then there's typically a makeup trade, and that makeup trade has, for me, made double what I lost in most cases. That being said, that's what BG Web Sharing is. And if you're wanting to be a part of BG Web Sharing and you're wanting to listen to somebody who's on the inside versus just the headlines, then it's a link down below for you to get started. But only invest what you're willing to risk. Investment has risk, but the upside is strong. So you decide what works best for you. No pressure, no harm, no foul. It's all love either way. But I'm aware of all of the things that people say in the headlines. However, I had to do a deeper dive for myself and see what is it that, I wanted to see for myself. I didn't want to just settle for the headlines and then run the risk of missing an opportunity that could be pretty big, because I'm seeing big things happen in the lives of many because of BG Web Sharing. So that being said, I would rather risk the initial investment, 500, 1,000, than to not risk and be like, I stayed away from it, but I missed the opportunity to see how this could benefit me as it's benefiting others. So the choice is yours. To each his own. I'm not here to tell you what to do, and this is not financial advice. However, I see people doubling their money in less than 60 days and drawing real income. Some people are even putting enough in their account and it's funding their life, taking their life to the next level while just leaving their money in there, and they're doing their copy trades on a day-to-day basis. So it's powerful. But if you want more information, there's a link down below. Now, what I want to talk about is a scam that's going on. So I definitely get people being mindful of scams. That's why you got to listen to people who are actually doing it and paying attention and using your own intuition, instinct to determine if it's something that's for you. But it's a scam linked to a 193-year-old tortoise. You might have heard about it. Long story short, people can create a crypto coin real quick nowadays, especially with all of these different things that allow people to create coins in a matter of minutes. And someone apparently had an account on Twitter, and they was operating as if they were the veterinarian of the tortoise. That's 193 years old. They was saying whatever. Then all of a sudden they said that tortoise died. So the media ran with it and was making obituaries for the tortoise, things of that nature. And they connected it to a crypto that had been released on the Solana blockchain, basically. So that coin got to running up. It ran up like 6,000% in a very short amount of time. That it ran up to 6,000%. And then it crashed on down. I forgot exactly where I was at, but one of my boys busted in with a question. Anyway, long story short, it was linked to a coin on Solana blockchain. It ran up 6,000%. It ended up crashing. So somebody made out with a lot of money. Then come to find out, what made it crash is that the real veterinarian say, nah, actually the tortoise named Jonathan, is alive and well and enjoying a banana, something along those lines. And people lost some money, trying to chase that storyline, because usually a storyline is what moves a crypto forward in that space, especially if it's a new crypto. It's the storyline that usually brings it to life. Why did I say that? Well, you do have to be mindful of different things that are online and things that could be scams, etc. I'm not here to knock the fact that scams do happen and people will find any way to get over. However, I look at BG Web Sharing as a great opportunity that could change the game in the world of how finances operate and how creating win-win scenarios can be a thing that helps all walks of life. Now, could be BG Web Sharing, is it gonna last forever? Nothing does. But could it be something that lasts for a very long time? I believe so. And I believe those who will willing to be a part of BG during the time where they were receiving all of this backlash and heat, and you got all these people who make videos and dogging it out and things of that nature. You know, they're trying to do it, saying that they're warning people, and they may be, you know, but I believe that those who jump on board with something like this on the front end has the potential to reap greater rewards because they were willing to take the darts. You know, the people who take the first step towards something wind up getting the most darts. Pioneers always get the most darts in their back because they pioneered the situation. They led down a path that was not created beforehand, and they were willing to go against the grain and do different things that other people wasn't willing to do. While everybody else was saying no, they were saying yes. Same with those who invested in Bitcoin earlier, while everybody else was like, nah, you know, I wanted to keep my money in the bank, so I didn't want to trust Bitcoin. Those who jumped on board are sitting pretty till this day for the ones who actually kept it and, you know, really believed in it long term. And that's what they get. And what I mean is, it's to their benefit because they were willing to do that. They were willing to take their risk early on, and as a result of that, they deserve to be at the level that they're at because they were willing to take their risk. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. Now, some people might have lost money during their process, things of that nature. You know, that's just the nature of the game. But everybody starts when they're supposed to. Meaning, if you start later, then you can't get mad at the person who started sooner and now they're winning and taking things to another level. If you started sooner than later, then you get to reap the benefits of starting sooner than later than those who may start months or years later. And hope that makes sense, because the thing that's not stopping is time. For every day that your money is not compounding on a day-to-day basis, or even in a position to compound on a day-to-day basis, is a day that you are practically losing money, to say the least. Because with the way things are going, inflation, things of that nature, it's a lot of things that are eating away at your money. So you need to put it in some positions. It makes sense why people want to jump into BG, because they're like, look, I need something that's going to outdo the norm. People are tired of the norm, or what people have claimed to be, you know, amazing for people. But if you don't feel it's amazing, then it's not. So what I mean is, a lot of times people think that, you know, yeah, you get a good job, yeah, you work there this many years and you retire, you live the life of your dream. People are in the mindset like, nah, I ain't feeling it. Some are, you know, some are not feeling it. Then, you know, the stock market, they would tell you 20% or 15% rate of return a year. That's amazing. That's amazing. Being able to do that is amazing. Yeah, compared to what? But if that individual doesn't feel like that's good enough, then naturally they do seek out things that in some people's mind may seem too good to be true. So I get why people are interested in it, because people are looking for something different that can give them a level of freedom that they always desired and deserve to have. I believe that God created this world for us to live in abundance. You can just look at nature. Nature doesn't just produce one of its kind. It operates in multiplication, meaning you plant a seed. Not only are you going to produce whatever that seed is, you produce multiples of that, and that thing that you produce has more seeds in it to produce multiple of that. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. Your money should operate as a seed as well. And that's just proof that God created things so that, you know, we can really live in a world that's free, like not paying for things. Everything comes from a natural resource. However, we need each other to be able to bring those things to life. So collaboration with people, plus all of the things that God already orchestrated and put into place that can make things abundantly and available free, is how I feel life could and should and supposed to be. And this gives an opportunity for us to tap into community, culture, people, and abundance, using your money as a seed and seeing how it can compound and multiply. That's all I got. If you want in, it's a link down below. If not, I salute. But if you're in BG, I got a link down below as well that you can consider using so you can get access to a system that I think can help you grow. See y'all on the next video. I salute.